Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I got it right this time. Yesterday evening I said this Dawn Busters and it was getting close to dark or dusk. But this is actually dawn. I see daylight barely peeking through. You know, by the end of this month, I'll probably have to wait till after 6 a.m. Central to do it because it'd just be too dark. Get further away from June 21st, closer to December. As we head toward, it'll get darker and darker because of the stinking rotten daylight savings time. This morning, I need a drink. Now, I'm doing taste challenge. My air conditioner, something's wrong with it. I think it's kaput. I got up at 2:55. Oh, man, I slept so well. I was like, oh, yeah, I slept well. But I knew something was wrong. I said, oh, no, something is terribly wrong. Oh, man, that's all right. It's an old unit. I got a good deal on it. So, oh, too bad. All right. Barton Premium American Whiskey, a blend. Now, here's your standard Barton bottle. They have different color schemes. All right. Barton was bought out by Sazerac in 2009. So for 10 years, they've owned them.
Paying too much for.
Come on, you trash. I don't know what's wrong with the Sazerac website, but was obviously not functioning as far as they don't give you a lineup of their liquors anymore. They used to, you click on any style, like say American blended, they give you the lineup, the whole lineup. Now there's nothing. And I called them and the guy was like, yeah, our tech people are updating it or whatever. I know they bought out they bought out 18 liquors from one company, Diageo, and then also in 2018, they bought 18 brands from another company, and I noticed they were slowly adding them to their lineup, and they're opening the Sazerac experience in October in New Orleans. So I don't know, but it could be like Pabst, they say they're updating their website, and that means it'll never be updated ever. This is like 4 years now, there's nothing on it. You waste your time looking at it. So it's like Pabst is saying, we make a lot of beers, and we don't want you to know about them. We certainly don't want you to have access to them. And then we can complain that people don't buy our products because we're going to be unavailable. And I hope Sazerac doesn't turn out like that. Now, some of their brand websites are fine, but I don't understand what's going on over there. All right, but that's another rant. So I'm ranting about the Sazerac website, ranting about my air conditioner being broken. And this is a bad day for it to be broken. 96 degrees, yikes. But the Barton brands have this like fancy pants label with the stripe, it's supposed to be like a silk ribbon. The gin will have like a white label with the aqua ribbon, or green. I'm sorry, green. And the rum might be white with aqua. I don't know, whatever. They used to show bottle. That was the good thing about the website because they showed shots of each bottle. Nice photographs of each bottle, and it made you want to go look for each one, like the James Fox. Alex the Beer Master says, good morning, Ryan. Good morning to you, Alex. So the competitor is Triple Crown, introduced in 2013. So Barton, this was introduced in 1949, 70 years ago. So a 70-year-old brand, woo, versus a 6-year-old brand. This is aged 2 years. The straight bourbon whiskeys in here are aged only 2 years. Here, there's no age statement, meaning they're at least 4 years old. Now, I didn't say they were good. I just said they were at least 4 years old. Need to wipe off this bottle. It's smudged. Hold on a second. Well, yeah, I want it to look nice. Well, I'll tell you, by around 12 noon, it's going to be unbearable in this house. All right. So I think I'll be able to tell these apart because I think the Barton's just going to be kind of bland, and then the Triple Crown's going to have an unusually rich flavor. And that's because, you know why? They add that oak extract. And I don't want to get into all that again, but that is a bizarre thing, man. I haven't gotten one of these wrong yet. I've done Triple Crown against a bunch so far, and I got every one of them right. And the Triple Crown has actually tasted better. So can whiskey taste better if you cheat and add flavoring? Yeah, I guess so. Especially when you're not starting with much. I didn't pay a lot for this. If you buy a normal size bottle, it's going to cost you about 21 bucks or more. This is a half size bottle, $3.75, and it was only $3.99. And when I taste this and drink it, you know, to me, it seems like that's what it's worth. About $8 or $9 for a regular bottle. I don't know why it would be so expensive, but you know, Seagram 7 Crown, that'll run you $16 a bottle. And so the price has gone up lately. It used to be like $11.99. Now I see it for like 12, 13, 14. And I'm thinking, I don't think that's worth it. Even though Seagram 7 Crown is the best, from my experience, the best of the American blended whiskeys. Now you might say, well, that ain't saying much. I know, I understand that, but of that genre, of that class of product, it seems to be the best. And we got that coming up. I got Barton. I did Albertsons last evening. Got what's the other one coming up? I can't remember. Well, I got them lined up. Oh yeah, 75 South, which is, I think now, which today is the Albertsons super value, etc. brand, store brand, private label brand. But then we'll close it out with the Seagram 7 Crown, and then we'll get into, in the upcoming weeks, when I get the chance, because it look like that might not work out so well in the next few weeks, but the Canadian whiskeys. I've got one I reviewed called Windsor Canadian. I should post a review in the next day or so. I got it recorded. And I'll put that up against everybody. It seems a little unique. You say, how can something be a little unique? You're right. It makes no sense. It seems a little different. The Windsor Canadian, but not vastly different. And apparently Beam Suntory is not proud of it because they don't even put it on their website anymore. It used to be, we proudly sell this whiskey from the interior plains of Alberta using mountain water. Oh, it's the #1 whiskey along the U.S. border, or, you know, Canadian whiskey in states like North Dakota, Michigan, Minnesota. But now it's like nothing. But you know what? I'm not worrying about it. I don't care what Beam Suntory does. They've been watering down all their stuff, but that's a lot of companies. Like the Windsor, I think, used to be 86 proof and aged 4 years in the 80s. Now it's 80 proof, aged 3 years. They call it the modern light alcohol level. And I guess that's correct, because the modern drinker probably prefers the 80 proof. Now, some of your deep speculative metaphysical drinkers, you know, the hobbyists, they want the super high proof, you know. Oh yeah, but that's a small percentage, like the hardcore video reviewers or just whiskey people, you know. So they wouldn't touch Windsor Canadian anyway. You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't even deal with that. They might even laugh off any Canadian whiskey, because that's a style of whiskey that people, I notice, just say, oh, all of it's trash. And all American blended whiskey's trash. And they'll say all blended Scotch whiskey's trash. So they have these, you know, these hardened views, hardened viewpoints. Now you might say, well, they have a right to be that way. Of course they have a right to be that way. You could be that way. You can have hardened views about drinks. It's only drinks anyway. And like with beer, you could say, I only drink the most expensive craft beers, and I will not drink that other junk you drink. Fine. That's fine. The problem comes in where they'll start saying, and you're stupid if you drink it, and you're a less of a person. And now we got a problem. All right, because I don't say that, and you don't say that, and you shouldn't say that. And that's the dark side of social media groups, you know, hobby clubs and all that. The dark side of it. Part of the dark side. There's other aspects of it that's not good. That's not the way it should be. This one smells kind of basic. I get grain alcohol on the nose, like from corn. You know it's from corn. It's the cheap, easily grown, you know, relatively easily grown commodity product, grain, and it's government subsidized, which is why they put ethanol in gasoline. It actually is a money loser. It doesn't save money. It's price supports. It's government corporate welfare. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't want to face up to those facts, but it is. It's juiced in people that are, you know, in cahoots with Uncle Sam. But this is not a video for that. It's just basic. I mean, I pick up a little sour mash. I think they might use sour mash bourbon in this. It doesn't say that, does it? Blended and bottled by Barton Distilling in California and Kentucky. So some of it is blended and bottled out in California. They have a plant out there, you know, a facility, and then some in Kentucky. It just says, we love to hear from our customers, Sazerac.com. That's a New Orleans company. They're on Magazines. They used to be in Metairie, but they moved their new offices on Magazine Street, New Orleans. So now I can just say New Orleans instead of, well, it's about a mile from the New Orleans city limits, and try to explain it. It's in a Sazerac basic bottle. I mean, this is just basic, you know. The 95th day of 2017. Yep. I didn't buy this in Louisiana. I bought this in Kentucky. And I'm sure this is a Kentucky bottle. And I bought this at Smoker Friendly store on US Highway 60 at the intersection of 127. You go up there, you'll see it. You say, what is that? It's a huge place, you know, bigger than you think. You think that's just a little liquor store. Oh no, it's big when you go inside. And of course, smoker friendly, so it's all kind of tobacco products, but their liquor selection is pretty fascinating. And I just bought it because it was $5.99. I figured, well, I bought the Barton straight bourbon. Why they blended? It only came out to $6.35 for after tax. The sales tax are a little bit. Island Natty says, "You Rooney, do you think U.S. can go to war with stubborn Iran?" Yo Rooney. I hope the United States does not attack Iran. I would not support that. Okay. And then people would be very partisan about that. You know, the Democrats will say, oh, those Republicans always want a war. And then, but they can't look at their own people, you know. But you get that all the time. But this one over here smells more sour mash than the other one, though. You know what? I think the Barton blended American whiskey is using sour mash bourbon. Oh, probably Barton bourbon. It's probably, hey, you know what? It's probably 80% grain neutral spirits, and 20% is probably 4-year-old standard Barton. Do they add color into it? Because, you know, if you took clear liquid and you added brown bourbon, it would turn almost white, right? 80%. Yeah, well, they might add caramel color. They're allowed to under the U.S. guidelines. So they're allowed to add blended sherry to give it a little pump up taste. Okay. And obviously they are allowed to add oak extract as evidenced by Triple Crown. Alex the Beer Master says, hey, Ron, will be a wonderful rest of your day. It was nice talking to you. Thanks, Alex. I don't know how wonderful it's going to be after I call the air conditioner man. Probably going to be a very costly day. That AC unit was running well last night. Clicking off and on, you know, cycling off and on, cooling. Good cool air. Then bam. But I guess these old units can do that. Just something malfunctions. Now you could fix it, but it gets to the point where it's like an old car. You could keep fixing it, but then the cost of repairing it is almost as much as the value of the car. So once that happens, then, well, you may not have the money. You may have to keep doing it, right? That would be understandable. But if you had the money, then it would be cost effective just to say, forget it, get something new. But it's very expensive. You know, living in America is very expensive. There's better ways to do it than other ways, you know, avoiding debt and whatnot. Okay, well, this is obvious now. I was a little thrown off at first, but now I've got it nailed. There's no question. There's no question about it. No question, no question, no question. This is obviously the Triple Crown, and I have figured it out, but I had done that 3 or 4 days ago. It's got to be the rich flavor, the bourbon flavor, and it has some tea-like qualities, tannins. Has got to be from this added oak extract. Yeah, I know that's cheating. I'm sure the stuff doesn't hurt you coming from white oak. You can buy bottles of it. I looked on the internet. You can buy bottles. You can order your own oak extract. Now, wouldn't you love to order some oak extract? Yes, it tastes better than the Barton. Is it worth $15 more than the Barton? No way. Oak, vanilla, rich flavor of wood, all that. Now, is it possible that you might run across a bottle like I did for $3.99? I suppose it's possible. My friend David did. He paid a penny more, $4 even. I paid $3.99. It looks gold with the light shining through it, but with the light shining on it, it looks amber. It's possible you might find some of that cheap. Would I recommend going out and buying Barton? It's got some wood. Actually, it has a lot of wood, and it's starting to have that honeydew melon like you get with the Heaven Hill ones. You say, why would American blended whiskey have a honeydew melon flavor? I don't know. It's some kind of defect with those. They're cheap, and you got that 80% grain neutral spirit, and I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd recommend it if you want to just spend as little money as possible on something. But you're not going to buy this and say, let me go put it in competition or give it to my friends and family. You're not going to do that. I hope you're not going to do that. This is just a basic, low-grade, bottom, and I mean bottom product. All right? Talking about Barton American Blended Whiskey. It doesn't taste bad. Well, I'm starting to get a lot of that grain alcohol. It is just basic. All right? Basic. No, basic. All right? That's it. It's all about what you want to spend money on. You say, but doesn't Barton 1792 exist? And they're some of them are very expensive. The 1792 distillery from Bardstown, Kentucky. Yes, that's the higher grade. You have the mid grade, Barton, straight bourbon. It'll cost you about $15 a bottle. You have Barton 90 proof bourbon. Oh, that'd be about the same price depending where you find it. In Kentucky, I've never seen it in Louisiana. Then you have, I think maybe there's a Barton bottled in bond, probably be pretty good. But then you get into your 1792 series. You can look on their website. They even have some that you can only buy at airports and in foreign countries. So we're talking about, it's really expensive. You know, those airport travel specialties might be $50, $60, $70 a bottle. Some of them age years and years and years and years and years and years. So when you go to Sazerac, that's what they want you to talk about. They're not going to showcase this thing over here. I'm sure they would prefer if you didn't even mention it. It's there. It exists. All these liquor companies put out a low-grade blend. Cheapo, if you want to call it. Beams Suntory does, Kessler. And Sonny Cook and others, Beams 8-star. Oh, Heaven Hill does. Sazerac does. I'm sure all the rest do. I just haven't run across Campari's or the ones from Diageo. I haven't run across those. Diageo might not go down to the bottom. You know, they might just hit the mid-range and that's their bottom. Like the Seagram 7 Crown, that might be their bottom. The mid-range might be their bottom trough, you know. When it comes to wine, those companies all have a low-grade product. Your Thunderbird, your Night Train, Wild Irish Rose. Oh, you know, all that stuff. Gallo. Constellation Brand. They deal with that. Well, Constellation Brand's pretty much sold out their whole portfolio to Gallo. They think the money's in the dope. Say the money's in the dope. Yeah, like they think they're going to make a lot of money off of hemp or something like that. Marijuana-based products, but and all this kind of stuff. Cannabis oil and whatever, but let them do it. But beer, yeah, you got the low grades. Your Milwaukee's Best, which is actually pretty good. That does better. That holds up better than the Whiskey World. If you take a good, credible, low-class beer like Milwaukee's Best Ice, Best Light, and Best Premium, that can actually battle against the premium brands. You know, the regular price brands. Like that can go toe-to-toe with your Budweisers, your Miller High Lifes, your Fosters, Molson, Moosehead, Corona Extra. That can really... Now, do you have some off brands that are real cheap and really nasty? In my experience, oh yes. Now, they seem to have improved those over the years because they were just so horrible. They tried selling Milwaukee's Special Reserve in Louisiana. It lasted about a month. Even the old bums around here were like, I don't care what it costs. If it's $10.99 a 30-pack, I don't want it. It's too nasty. And it really was. Horrible product. Horrible. What's up? Says Bucky Dent. Just chilling. Tasting some whiskey. Well, I'm going to call it. I called it 10 minutes ago. This is the Triple Crown. There's no doubt about it. TC Triple Crown. There you go. So can you spruce up a dull item with some oak extract? Yeah. It's been working with Triple Crown. It may not be kosher. You know what I mean? It may be a flim flam product, but the flim flam works. And it doesn't over time develop like a, ugh. You know, sometimes companies have these flavored products and they're like cheating. And at first you're like, wow, that's really good. But then if you keep drinking it, then you start saying, oh, wait a minute. Something gross about it. It doesn't do that. The Barton is just dull, bland. It's got a little sourdough bread, a little wood. It's fine though. If you are somebody that doesn't mind dull products and you just want the 80 proof, 40% alcohol, yeah, this is a perfect item, assuming you could ever find it. It doesn't offer a lot, but it doesn't charge a lot. You know what I'm saying? You didn't pay much and you don't get much, but you don't worry because you knew that going in. Like you knew it was the lowest of the low. So if you want to save time, I guess it would be Thursday morning. Don't waste your time watching 75 South versus Triple Crown. I said that yesterday. Don't waste time watching this review because all you're going to see is the same thing. Me talking about how Triple Crown has an unusually rich flavor, and that's because of the added oak extract. Whether you think that's cool or not cool to add that, that's, you know, I understand it. Got some stupid comments. We give people a chance, you know, and then they screw it up. All right. So that's that. Now, later today, of course, I don't know what's going to go on with this air conditioner situation. I could blow that up. But maybe later today, we'll look at the, that'll really be a fiasco. You want to watch a bad video? Watch Bacardi white rum, the Superior, versus Ron Rio. That is going to be terrible. Because that Ron Rio, I didn't know liquor could spoil, but I think the bottle I bought was rancid. Because I'm thinking to myself, why would you ever create a product like this on purpose? You know, why would you do that? And sad, the worst part is I got a whole liter to drink. Oh, well, maybe it'll take me 7 years and I won't have to suffer too much at a time. You know what I mean? Just suffer a little bit every now and then. All right, thanks for watching this video production. And once again, Triple Crown Clear is the clear winner, and it doesn't taste like the others. It does not. No way. You'd never confuse it. I don't think you would confuse it if you had a trained palate. Thank you.